Hello drama lovers, welcome back to my channel. She called him gay once, and the fandom never forgot. That one word, spoken so softly by Zhang Ruonan, sent a ripple through the hearts of those watching. There was something in the way she said it, an intimacy wrapped in innocence, a spark that felt unscripted. On screen, it looked like a scene from a drama. But to fans, it felt real. Too real. Bai Jingting didn't say much in response. He never does. But the way his eyes softened when he looked at her, the subtle smile that flickered across his usually reserved face, those moments were louder than any scripted line. Since then, time has passed. They moved on to different projects, different cities, different paths. But some connections don't vanish when the cameras stop rolling, they deepen in the silence. Lately, whispers have started again. Zhang Ruonan, usually private and careful, began posting things that didn't feel random. A photo in a quiet bookstore. A caption that read, "Some people never really leave, do they?" A playlist full of aching ballads, songs about waiting and what-ifs. And then, the detail that broke the internet. She had been spotted in the same city where Bai Jingting was rumored to be filming. No fanfare. No media coverage. Just a quiet appearance that felt loaded with meaning. Could it be it wasn't just her posts or her travels, it was in her interviews, too? When asked about the kind of person who made her feel most safe, she said, "Someone who doesn't need to say much. Someone who stays when things get quiet." To some, that might sound vague. But to fans who remembered every frame of her time with Bai Jingting, every lingering look, every quiet moment they shared, it sounded like a memory she was still holding onto. In the world of showbiz, where everything is orchestrated, nothing hits harder than something that feels raw. And Zhang Ruonan's quiet breadcrumbs feel exactly like that, raw, real, and still unresolved. She doesn't speak his name. She doesn't need to. Everything she shares, intentionally or not, tells a story. One of longing, of waiting, of something unfinished. And just when the fandom thought it might all be in their heads, something unexpected happened. She appeared on a variety show, smiling as always. But when asked if you could run into anyone unexpectedly, who would it be? She hesitated, laughed nervously, then quietly answered, "Someone I haven't seen in a long time." Her voice softened. Her eyes dropped, just for a moment. That was all. But for those who've been watching closely, it was everything. The same day, she posted another quote, "Maybe I'll meet you again, with better timing." It echoed something Bai Jingting himself had posted months before. "I don't believe in coincidences. Only timing." It's almost poetic, the way they seem to be answering each other across time and silence. No photos. No confirmations. Just this slow, emotional dance of echoes. For fans, it's not about shipping anymore, it's about resonance. It's about that quiet, aching hope that maybe, just maybe, two people who once looked at each other like they saw the whole world might find their way back. Not for the cameras, not for the headlines, but for themselves. Because love doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it just lingers. In playlists. In bookstore aisles. In the way someone says gay like it means more than brother. Like it's the safest word in the world. Maybe Zhang Ruonan isn't searching in the literal sense. Maybe she's just carrying that memory with her, everywhere she goes. The way we all do, when someone once mattered more than we expected. When someone entered our life so quietly but stayed so loudly in our hearts. If Bai Jingting is feeling any of it too, he hasn't said a word. But then again, he never really needed to. His silences have always spoken volumes. And if fate is as gentle and deliberate as the story they left behind, maybe their paths will cross again. Not on a set, not under studio lights, but in a bookstore, or a quiet street, or perhaps in a moment they both knew would come. No cameras, no audience, just the kind of presence that doesn't need to be performed. And when it happens, it won't be breaking news. It won't trend. It won't go viral. It will just be soft, quiet, and utterly theirs. Because the most beautiful stories are rarely the loudest. They live in glances, in missed calls, in words left unsaid. And sometimes, they live in the echo of a single word spoken long ago. Gig. Still wondering if Zhang Ruonan's quiet search will lead her back to Bai Jingting? Tell us what you believe, because sometimes silence is where the real story begins. And yet, even with all these unspoken moments, fans can't help but wonder what really happened between Zhang Ruonan and Bai Jingting after the cameras stopped rolling in an industry where most relationships are defined by contracts, media coverage, and timed announcements. Theirs felt different from the start. It never tried to be loud. It never asked to be noticed. And maybe that's what made it unforgettable. Because while other couples posed for tabloids or played up their chemistry in interviews, Zhang Ruonan and Bai Jingting did the opposite. They left space. They left mystery. And somehow, they left fans feeling everything. It's the kind of story that doesn't rely on proof, but on presence, on energy, on the weight of a single look. Like that one behind-the-scenes clip that still haunts the fandom where Zhang Ruonan fumbled her lines, embarrassed and giggling, only for Bai Jingting to gently place a hand on her shoulder, his smile saying, "It's okay, take your time." That touch, that patience, was barely 5 seconds long. But for those watching, it said 1,000 things. Now, every quiet update from either of them feels loaded with subtext. When Bai Jingting recently posted a black and white photo with no caption, fans zoomed in on the background and found a detail they swear matches a cafe Zhang Ruonan visited weeks prior. Maybe it's coincidence. Maybe it's nothing. But when you've spent years watching something bloom silently, even the smallest echoes can feel monumental. And what if Zhang Ruonan's search isn't really about finding him physically? What if it's about reconnecting with a feeling, a moment in time when everything felt clear, even if no one had the words yet? We all have that person, the one who came into our lives unexpectedly, stayed just long enough to change everything, and left us wondering if maybe they'll return when the timing is right.